Hello everyone, my name is Justin Bohannon, and today we're going to be introducing the new financial aid MyStatus. For those of you who are in the audience, please write down all your questions and save them to the end, as we'll have a Q&A session following this presentation. So financial aid MyStatus is a new interface for the financial aid screens in eSanta Fe. Today we're going to review each and every page of MyStatus. We're going to start with the MyStatus page, then go over the cost of attendance, the award details, work study, book charging, appeal information, and then the authorization page. Okay, first, the main screen when you click into the financial aid section on eSanta Fe is going to take you to the MyStatus page. This page has a lot of information on it, and there are dynamic menus that will appear and disappear based on the student's individual account. At the very top, right under the header, you will have the phase information. The phases at the very top is going to list the name of the phase, followed by a description. In these descriptions, there may be links that can help the student or guide them to where they can seek more information. The phases start with eligibility, then go into verification and documents, then into calculating awards, the award phase, disbursement phase, and if a student's account is inactive or we don't have any FAFSA information on them, they'll show as the inactive file status or a not on file status. Below the phase information and description, there will be the financial aid status itself that will display a description for the student of their file conditions. So there may also be important information and links in this area as well, so that way the student can find out more information what they need to do. Below that, then we get into the dynamic menus that I told you about earlier. First is the financial aid application status that informs the student of the current status of their FAFSA. During various times in the year, or whether the FAFSA has been accepted or rejected, it will display a different message on there for the student to see. After that, we'll have a document status section, which displays the documents that are required and submitted to the financial aid office. The status of the document is currently in, and then it will also, for some status types, show the date of that status. Following that, a new feature that is added is we can now send customized messages directly to the students. For instance, if a student submits a document to the financial aid office and it's missing pieces, we can send them a little notification there off to the side to say that their document has been rejected. If a document wasn't signed and it needs to have a signature on there, we can send them a message telling them exactly what they need to do, and it's personalized to each individual student. If a student submits a satisfactory academic progress appeal, they will have an appeal information section appear. In the appeal information section, it's going to show them the date that their appeal was submitted, the status of their appeal, whether it's pending, approved, or denied. And after it says that where it's pending, approved, or denied, it will display a description of that status and what it means for the student's financial aid. Periodically, throughout a student's enrollment, sometimes they might be a transient student and sometimes they may be working in the admissions process. The school will need transcripts either sent to the admissions office or the records office. If the system indicates that the student needs to do one of those two things, it's going to display a message telling them that they need to submit transcripts to us. And it'll give them detailed information as to where that needs to go, whether it's a records or admissions. The steps for student loans. So this section explains the steps needed for the student to take out a federal student loan. The section only displays on the student's account when loans are available and the student needs to complete additional steps before they can receive the loans. There are hyperlinks that are in this section that take the student directly into the exercise, and all the student will need to do is log in with their FSA ID and password, and then they'll start the exercise. Once they've completed it and that information is imported into our system, this section will disappear for the student. The disbursement section shows detailed information about the disbursements for the student. The top portion of this section shows the current processing cycle for the financial aid office. And the second section, where you see underneath where it says spring, is the current processing status of the student's awards. This section gives the student more detail about each individual award, and it shows them action items or updates that may need to be done to their loans or awards for their disbursement. That was all the My Status page. This is the cost of attendance page. So here, this shows the students a breakdown budget of their educational costs. Now, the financial aid office, we have to establish budgets to explain to the students what their expenses are. These budgets we use to calculate their eligibility, and they include various multiple things, not just what they pay in tuition here. So it includes their tuition and fees, of course, but it also includes room and board for the area, their textbooks, supplies, transportation costs, and any personal or miscellaneous expenses. The budgets are based on what's considered reasonable and modest for the living area of the student. And this information, anyone can go and learn more about on the financial aid webpage. After that, we have the award details page. So on the award details page, the student can go there and see all of their financial aid awards. Okay? In that section, the student can click on each individual line item. That line item will expand and show the student additional details about the award. So for instance, on this page here, if you see in the top right-hand corner, or left-hand corner, where it says details, if the student clicks on that, they're going to see the breakdown of their tuition, or of their award, and how it was applied. So you see this student that I used in the example, they had an award amount of $3,047, $488.50 went towards their books, and the remainder amount, which was the disbursement, went to the student. If the student clicks where it says process completed, then the other notification will pop up where it says Fall Pell Grant, and that will explain to the student the current status of their disbursement. So in this case, this was already transmitted to the account that the student specified via BankMobile. The work study page. The financial aid work study page, when a student is not awarded any federal work study, it will display a message informing them what they can do and how to get added onto our work study wait list. For students who do have work study jobs, at the very top of the page, it will display details about their job and their pay. And below that will show all of the available positions that are available for the student to apply to. If the student clicks on one of the available positions, it will give a brief description of that job, and then it will give the contact information on how the student can apply. Book charging page. In this section, this is where the students will go to see all of their book charges. In the description at the top of the page, there are two hyperlinks in there. The first one, and the first paragraph, takes the student to our book charging webpage, which will allow them to research and find more information on how they can authorize their account for book charging. The second link underneath, right there at the very bottom, is the bookstore authorizations page link, and that will take them directly to the authorizations page inside My Status. The appeal information page, this page is not much different than the appeal information section on the My Status homepage. The only difference here is that this will display multiple appeals if the student does have an appeal in the fall, and then an appeal in the spring. And here's the authorizations page. All authorizations in the past used to be split into 2 separate pages. Now they are listed on 1 page. This includes bookstore charging, non-tuition expenses, and summer loans. The summer loans section only appears if the student has loans. And to rescind authorization, the student needs to contact the office that's listed in the block for that specific authorization. I want to thank you guys for coming today for this brief presentation.